In this video, we'll give you 4 running backs that have the widest range of outcomes in 2024 fantasy leagues. I'm Jim Coventry, along with Anthony Servino of RotoWire.
Jim, when it comes to running backs with wide range of outcomes, the first one that comes to mind is Devin Achane. And Devin Achane last season took the fantasy football world by storm. Remember what happens from weeks 3 to 5. He scored 51, 27, and 21.5 PPR points. But things started toning down. Injuries, other people involved in the offense like Raheem Mostert. We never really saw that true ceiling out of Devin Achane again. Now, why is that? Is it the workload due to his size? He's a little bit more compact and built like a change of pace back. Is it the fact that Raheem Mostert set career highs in touchdowns last year? I kind of err on the side of I don't believe Devin Achane is built to be an every down back, which is why I'm having a hard time drafting him right now as a running back 10 off the board. When we're drafting running backs this high, I want a guy who's going to handle the lion's share of the running back touches. The Miami Dolphins, they prioritize bringing back Raheem Mostert. They drafted Jalen Wright, one of the better rookie running backs coming out, which tells me, I don't know if I'm going to call it a running back by committee, but they're going to use more than Devin Achane. So when we're drafting Devin Achane this high, we might be drafting him at a ceiling, which means he's a high-risk player to be taking in the second or third round of our fantasy football drafts.
My running back with a wide range of outcomes is Kyren Williams of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, as a rookie in 2022, Williams looked very ordinary in limited work. The team actually wanted to get him more work, but he wasn't ready for that opportunity. And then we go into 2023. Cam Akers was frequently in Sean McVay's doghouse, and Williams was a force in the backfield beginning in week 1 and quickly took the job over completely from Akers, and Akers was then moved out of town. So that said, we saw Kyren Williams in 12 games post 1,144 yards and 12 touchdowns. He was a strong weekly performer, getting volume as a runner and a receiver. Here is why Kyren Williams did so well. Sean McVay figured out very quickly in 2023 that the league was defending the run with light boxes. They were shooting gaps and having success. Well, McVay figured out if we get running downhill, the duo run scheme, it's going to hit before the defense can react. Kyren Williams was in the right place at the right time. I'm not sold that he's an actual superstar, but he played like one. So that said, the team drafts Blake Corum. What happens during training camp if Blake Corum is legitimately a better running back than Kyren Williams? Does Sean McVay say, well, you know what? Williams did fine last year, so we keep him there? Or do you take the system that worked and plug in a player who's better? Or if they're equal, are they going to split reps? This could be a very messy situation. And if we're counting on a running back that did well due to situation, very problematic. Now, I will give Kyren Williams some credit. 83rd percentile in yards after contact. As a receiver, only 65th percentile after the catch, above average, but not, again, elite. Broken tackles were better than average. All that said, Kyren Williams is going to have a workhorse role to reach the ADP where he's a top 10 running back easily. There's a world where he's in a timeshare and it gets very messy. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the RotoWire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial with no credit card needed. Just go to rotowire.com/Jim to see all of our content.
Jim, my next running back with a wide range of outcomes, Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans' newest running back. And what I like about Tony Pollard is that he is back in an offense to where he's not going to be the guy. This team has Tajay Spears there, and I know he's not the big guy like a Derrick Henry or even scaling back to when Tony Pollard was at his best, a guy like Zeke to take the pounding. This could be closer to a 60-40 split, which means Tony Pollard is going to get some rest. And that's what Tony Pollard really needed last year in Dallas. He needed some rest. He was taking a beating, and that's just not what Tony Pollard does. He's at his best when he can go wear down a tired defense and use his elusiveness and exploit the second and third level. Now, Tony Pollard last year, he couldn't get the ball into the end zone. That was the biggest deficit when it comes to handicapping his fantasy managers. He was second amongst NFL running backs with 72 red zone touches. He only scored 6 total touchdowns. If Tony Pollard can get on track in this offense, and let's face it, I like this Titans offense more than most, but there's a lot of question marks. Could Tony Pollard be exploited even more so with Tennessee in the passing game? Because Will Levis is still a growing passer, and there could be additional pass catching opportunities for Tony Pollard. Right now, Pollard's going as the RB29 off the board in PPR leagues. I think we're drafting him at his floor, and there's some hidden PPR ceiling built in.
My last running back with a wide range of outcomes is Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints. Look, the ceiling last year, 13 games played, 1,160 scrimmage yards, 6 touchdowns, and an insane 75 receptions. Volume is king in fantasy football, and we saw Alvin Kamara, despite limited games, have heavy volume, and he was a clear running back one in PPR leagues. That said, Derek Carr was getting rid of the ball to avoid pressure. New offense. Clint Kubiak comes in, a little more play action, should get the quarterback a little more time, may not have to dump the ball to the running back forever. But here was the problem. If you watch the games and you realize that Kamara as a runner lived on volume, you also know Kamara was in the 15th percentile in breaking tackles, only the 27th percentile in yards after contact, and the 24th percentile in yards after the catch. Basically, he's Rachaad White. At this point in his career, they're literally the same player. Ton of volume, can catch the ball. Here's the issue. If the Saints saw and realized that Kamara's a declining player, they are going to get Kendre Miller involved. If that happens, the volume dries up for Kamara, and all of a sudden we have an aging back who's another year older at 29, and the decline continues. So be very careful that there's both downside with the upside you'd like from Alvin Kamara.